All right. Hello, folks, and thanks for joining us here at Colburn Park. I'm Dan Cooter, and we have the Geneva Red Wings in town to take on the Newark Pilots tonight, as the Pilots are still in search of their first win of the year, as they're coming off a 9-3 drubbing last night from Watertown. Geneva, on the other hand, they've had some success to begin their year, as they are 4-1. They played their last game after a break yesterday on Wednesday, as they were able to defeat Elmira 2-0 behind a strong effort from their pitcher Collins, who was the pitcher of the night in the Perfect Game League. It's Alan Murphy on the mound for the Pilots tonight, and we've seen him at the plate for the majority of the season so far, and also in right field, but he gets his first nod on the mound, as the right-hander from Richburg, New York, will get things going for Newark here tonight. Now, for Alan Murphy, it was a strong year at the plate for him for St. John Fisher Colleges. He started 33 games, batting at .324. He only had one inning of work for St. John Fisher last year, so it'll be interesting to see how he succeeds on the mound here tonight, as he hasn't had much mound time in his recent days. But as we've seen so far this year, he's been solid at the plate as well, batting .278. He has 5 hits, and 3 of those being doubles, has 4 RBIs as well. And so we're ready to go from Colburn Park here. A beautiful night for some baseball. As first pitch is out, it's a big cut, and Murphy gets a swing and a miss to get things going here on this Friday night. It's Mike Piscores who will lead things off, playing center field tonight for the Red Wings. He fouls one back right into the backstop. Got out of the way of that one, as it looked like it was coming at us. So Piscores quickly in an 0-2 count. There's Alan Murphy looking to retire the leadoff man. Here in the top of the first from Colburn Park, just underway. Swing and a miss from Piscores, and there's quickly one gone as Alan Murphy gets himself a strikeout to start the night.
Number 1, Justin Etz.
So I don't know if there was any nerves from Alan Murphy on the mound, but it doesn't look like it, as it's 3 quick pitches, and Piscores goes down on strikes to start the ball game. Murphy tosses in his first ball of the game. As it's Justin Etz at the plate now for the Red Wings. Etz from Poughkeepsie, New York. Cracks one up in the air. This one back into left, and it's going to fall for a base hit. That one got lost in the sun pretty quickly, but it drops in there for a single. And so Justin Etz is aboard with one gone here in the top of the first, and it's Langston Livingston who comes to the plate. Livingston batting .500, best on the team for the Red Wings here in the early going. 18 at-bats for him and 9 hits. So he has found some success at the plate here from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Etz is on board. As there's one gone after Murphy was able to retire Piscores on strikes to begin the game. Etz batting .167 for Geneva here in the early going, as he was able to get himself a base hit and get on. It's Livingston trying to advance him now.
Yeah, that's not popping up. I didn't keep track.
Murphy, this one swung into center by Livingston, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Etz will hold up at second.
First baseman, number 12,
And
Lane Powell.
so Langston Livingston has his 10th hit of the year here for the Red Wings. And there's men on first and second, as Etz is into scoring position now. It's Lane Powell playing first base for the Red Wings here tonight, who will come up to bat now. Runner going. Throw down to third. Did he get him? No, he didn't. The ball came out of Warren's glove. And so both the runners advance, and now they're both in scoring position. And after a strikeout to begin the game, Alan Murphy has gotten himself into a bit of trouble. Murphy, this one fouled off by Powell, and the count goes to 0-1 to him now. Having some troubles with the scoreboard here to begin the game, so we'll try to keep you up to date on everything that's going on in the field. There's one inside, and it hits Powell, and then that will load the bases here in the top of the first.
Third baseman, number 11, Justin Barr.
Justin Barr batting 111 on the year for the Red Wings so far. Has 1 hit in 9 at-bats. He's been walked twice and has 2 strikeouts here in the early going of the year. As a mound visit from Matt Colbert here to Alan Murphy as he has the bases loaded here in the top of the first. Still scoreless from Colburn Park as there's 1 gone. Alan Murphy was able to retire the leadoff man, Mike Piskor's on strikes, but back-to-back hits from Etz and Livingston, and then Lane Powell, who was hit by a pitch, has loaded the bases here. As Murphy would love to turn a double play here, as it's Barr at the plate. Barr takes a swing at that one and fouls it off. And so it's an 0-1 count to Barr. Swing and a miss. And he's quickly behind 0-2 now. Oh-2 count to Barr here with the bases loaded in the top of the first. 1 gone. Here's the pitch. That one cracked up in the air. Chasing after is the second baseman, Graham. He makes the play, and it keeps the runners at bay. Good play by Justin Graham as he came over from second there. And I'm going to be honest, folks, it is a very tough time seeing the ball when it goes in the air right now. But kind of judge that one off of Justin Graham's expression as he, looking up in the sky, made his way over and got underneath that one. And the runners have to hold. And so there's 2 gone now after the flyout. Craig Sanford, the DH man for the night for the Red Wings, batting in the 6th spot, comes to the plate now. As the bases are still loaded with 2 gone now in the top of the first. Murphy throws another one outside, and so the count will go to 2-0 now. Craig Sanford plays his college ball at Hamilton from Millstone Township, New Jersey. Trying to bring in a couple runs here for the Red Wings in the top of the first. Looks at strike 1 as Murphy's able to catch the outside corner. And the count will go to 2-1 now. Murphy ready with the 2-1 offering. This one's an off speeder, and it's drilled down the left side, and it'll fall foul. And so the count goes to 2-2 on Sanford now. Craig Sanford, a catcher, as mentioned, batting in the DH spot tonight. Here's the pitch, well outside. Sanford holds off, and it moves the count full now. Alan Murphy desperately trying to throw a strike and get himself out of the inning here, as a ball would walk in a run. Here's the payoff pitch from Murphy. Runners going. This one chopped up to Murphy. Murphy will run it over to first, and Murphy gets himself out of the jam. 3 stranded here in the top of the first. Pilots coming up to bat next from Colburn Park. Welcome back to Colburn Park. I'm Dan Cooter. As we're ready for the bottom of the first here, the Pilots getting their first crack at the bats. Justin Graham leading us off once again here tonight for the Pilots. Graham hitting 143 on the year so far with 14 at-bats and 2 hits. Looks at ball 1 in the dirt, and so the count will go to 1-1 on him. Graham has himself a couple of stolen bases here as he fouls this one off into the backstop, and he's behind in the count 1-2 now. Hayden Sieg on the mound tonight for the Geneva Red Wings. The big right-hander tosses one in outside, and so it moves the count to 2-2. Sieg stands at 6'5", 205. Just finished up his sophomore year at St. Joseph's. Here's one grounded. It flies out of play to the left. And it'll keep the count at 2-2 now. Sieg ready with another 2-2 delivery. That one's well high and over the outstretched glove of the catcher, McCrae, who's doing the catching duties for Geneva here tonight. And so it moves the count full to the leadoff man, Graham. Graham looks at one outside, and Graham will take his base, and it's a leadoff walk to start us off here in the bottom of the first.
Center fielder, number 11 from Portland, New York, Justin Bailey.
That's the 5th time Justin Graham has been walked here for the Pilots this year. So it's Dawson Bailey hitting in the 2 spot tonight for the Pilots, playing center field. As Graham, as we mentioned, has a couple of stolen bases. We'll see how aggressive he gets there over on first. Bailey looks at strike 1 high, and so it's an 0-1 count to him now. Bailey leading the Pilots in batting average at .353 to start the year. Has 6 hits and 2 RBIs. Graham is going to go from first. Here's the throw down from McCrae, and it's well behind. And so Justin Graham has himself a stolen base and moves himself into scoring position. Graham got a very good jump on that one and was able to slide into second with ease as the throw was plenty late from McCray. And so McCray is still at the plate now. As that one is fouled off by Bailey. Sieg is going to ask for a moment of time here as he'll talk to McCray. With Dawson Bailey at the plate from Porter, New York. Plays at Niagara University. As McCray makes his way back behind home plate, and Hayden Sieg is ready again on the mound. Graham is over on second after the stolen base as there's none gone here in the top of the first. Bottom of the first. We get another moment of time as Sieg took a couple of looks over there at Justin Graham as he's got himself a hefty lead over at second. Here's the pitch from Sieg. It's in the dirt. Bailey is able to hold off of it. One-two pitch here to Bailey. Swung on by Bailey, and he fouls it off and stays alive. Geneva left 3 stranded in the top of the first, so we're still scoreless here at Colburn Park. As here's another 1-2. It's an off-speeder, and it misses in the dirt, and it moves the count to 2-2. Hayden Sieg from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. 15 games pitched this past year for St. Joseph's. Started 3 of them. That one is low again from Sieg, and so it pushes the count full. Sieg was 0 for 4 on the year and had an 8.10 ERA as he pitched 23 1/3 innings for St. Joseph's. Had himself 30 strikeouts this past year. So it's a full count to Dawson Bailey. Bailey swings on this one, and it's popped up, but it'll fall foul, and so the count will stay where it is. Justin Graham still over on second. Grady Wright, the first baseman, is due up next for the Pilots. Sieg ready with another payoff pitch. It's high, and he walks second batter now. So back-to-back walks for Hayden Sieg, and Dawson Bailey really worked him on that at-bat. And we've seen plenty of times here in the Pilots games with either pitcher that some of the pitchers have had a tough time with their command. I wouldn't say that's the same thing for Sieg here at the beginning. That was just a very good at-bat from Dawson Bailey as he was behind in the count for a majority of it, got it to full, and then fouled off a couple of pitches before drawing the walk. And so it's the first baseman, Grady Wright, who stands in now for the Pilots. And Wright, who we usually see in the cleanup spot here in the early going for Newark, is batting in the 3 spot. It's Xavier Warren, the third baseman for the Pilots, batting in the cleanup spot tonight. Wright will show bunt, but he will take a strike. Count goes to 1-1 on Wright, as Grady Wright batting .308 here on the year so far with 3 RBIs. He has struck out 9 times, as he had 3 of those yesterday in the Watertown game. Big cut from Wright as he goes around and misses on that one. And he's behind in the count 1-2 now. Grady Wright, 3 RBIs on the year on 13 at-bats for him. Has come across twice to touch home plate. Here's the pitch from Sieg. It's high. And the count moves to 2-2 here on Grady Wright. Dawson Bailey and Justin Graham are on after back-to-back walks to start the night for Sieg. Here's the pitch. Just misses outside from Sieg. And that's going to walk the bases loaded now. So a tough start for Hayden Sieg here as he's walked his first 3 batters that he's faced. None gone here in the bottom of the first, still scoreless from Colburn Park. These two teams hooked up earlier in the week. It was a 6-5 win on a Nick Carnival single that walked it off in the bottom of the 10th. And the Pilots, they had a 5-0 lead in that one as they had a 4-run first inning. And they're threatening here again as the bases are loaded with none gone in the bottom of the first. But Geneva was able to crawl their way back into that one, tied it up at 5 in the bottom of the 9th. It was Alec Tescu who got himself out of a jam, but couldn't finish the job with the Pilots, and they went down 6-5, their closest chance to victory we've seen to this point in the year. As they also lost to Mohawk Valley 9-7 and Jamestown 5-3 before the blowout loss to Watertown last night. So Xavier Warren strides in now as he fouls one off to begin the at-bat. It's a tough assignment here for Hayden Sieg after walking the first 3 batters he's faced in this game. Warren quickly behind in the count, 0-2 as that one catches the lower side of the plate. Warren from Southfield, Michigan, batting .125 in 16 at-bats, has 2 hits to start the year. And that one, he takes looking for strike 3 as Xavier Warren, his 7th strikeout of the year, as he gets caught looking on the pitch that catches the inside part of the plate. And so a big out there for Hayden Sieg as there's 1 gone now in the bottom of the first. It's Alex Hernandez at the plate, batting .235 for the Pilots in the early going this year, has 4 hits. Plays at Nova Southeastern down there in Florida. It's a 1-0 count to Hernandez. This one swung out by Hernandez, hit into left field, striding back after it, turning his shoulder, and he can't make the catch, and it'll drop. Graham will come across to score. Bailey will hold at third. And the Pilots have 1 on the board now here in the bottom of the first. It's an RBI for Alex Hernandez, his 3rd RBI of the year. A tough play there in left field is Livingston. You knew it was bad news when he had to turn his shoulder to try and find it. And it escaped his glove and would drop in for a base hit. It's an RBI single for Hernandez. Unsure if they will charge an error to Livingston or not, but the bases are still loaded. And the Pilots are up 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. In the DH spot tonight is Phil Ferranti, his first action of the year for the Pilots, as he swings one up the middle to the shortstop. Could be a double play here, and it will be. So the Pilots strand 3 but get 1. They lead 1-0 after the first here at Colburn Park. Dan Cooter, welcome back to Colburn Park as we get set for the top of the second here between the Red Wings and the Pilots. Pilots get one in the bottom half of the first, and so they have a 1-0 lead here in the early going of this one. Sam Fuller strides in for the Red Wings to get us going. He first pitch swings at this one, chopped over to Cowles. Long play for Cowles, and it's going to be an error as that one was high, and Grady Wright is slow and on his knees as he got clipped by the runner, Sam Fuller. Grady Wright seems to be okay over there at first as he shakes that one off. So it's an error charged to the shortstop, Ben Cowles. And the leadoff man is aboard. It's Sam Fuller, and he's going to head over to second. After that one escaped the first baseman, Grady Wright. And so Fuller is in scoring position now to start the top of the second. Alan Murphy on the mound for the Pilots here tonight. As it's the catcher, McCray, at the plate now, and he fouls that one off for strike one. We get time here again as it's becoming a struggle here for Murphy. Get a pitch off. He will now, though. This one flied out to right field by McCray, and it'll fall foul. As Marcheshow, the right fielder for tonight for the Pilots, wasn't able to corral that one. We apologize for the connection delay. I don't know exactly what happened there, but hopefully we are all good now as we get you back to play here in the top of the second. Sam Fuller is aboard after the error charged to Ben Cowles. He's on second as there's none gone here in the top of this to make that play, but he's committed to Maryland University for a reason, and he shows us why there with a great play at shortstop. As Warren is able to apply the tag to Fuller, and there's two gone now. As Jackson is able to advance down to first on the fielder's choice. This one popped up in the air. Underneath it is Cowles, and that will do it. Red Wings strand one here in the top of the second. Pilots still up 1-0 as they come up to bat next here at Colburn Park. We welcome you back here to Colburn Park. I'm Dan Cooter, and we thank you for joining us here on NewarkPilots.tv. And I understand that we did have a connection issue. If any of you do realize that, feel free to comment in the comment section and let me know, because I was completely unaware of that until I saw it up the top of my screen. So constructive criticism is appreciated. It's Andre Marchessault will lead us off here in the bottom half of the second inning. It was Justin Graham who came across to score as Marchessault lines one into left. That one's up in the air. Livingston is underneath it, and he'll make the catch to retire the leadoff man here in the bottom half of the second.
From Newark, New York, shortstop number 9, Ben Cowles.
Both teams left 3 on in the first inning. It's the hometown kid, Ben Cowles, who gets a nice applause from the crowd as he steps in for his first at-bat of the evening. Looks at an off-speeder inside for ball 1 from Hayden Sieg. Cowles, we saw him make that heads-up play down at shortstop last inning for the Pilots. He's ready with the 1-0. Takes a crack at this one and fouls it off into the backstop, and so the count moves to 1-1 on him now. Ben Cowles, the 2017 Finger Lakes East Region Player of the Year. As we mentioned in our last broadcast here, he played his high school baseball right at this park, so he's plenty familiar with it. He takes a swing and fouls this one off, and the count goes to 2-2 now. One and two. I'm looking at a really small scoreboard out there and right now, folks. There's some technical issues with the one out here to our left. Cowles just gets a piece of that one, and it keeps the count at 1-2 now. Cowles batted .426 for the Newark Reds this past year. As he fouls off another one. This one looks like it might be in play. Looking over his shoulder and making the catch for out number 2 is Magadan.
Now batting for the Pilots from Georgetown, Texas, left fielder number 2, Parker Cadlock.
So with 2 gone, we head to the bottom of the order as it's Parker Tadlock who comes up to the plate for the Pilots now. Much better start to the inning here for Hayden Sieg after he walked the first 3 in the bottom half of the first. This one grounded to the shortstop. A hard bouncer, but a good play there. Over to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Hayden Sieg, and we head to the top of the third. Pilots still up 1-0 in this one. Justin Etz gets us going here in the top half of the third. It's still, and he'll swing at this one as it's 1-0 Pilots. Cowles will move over to right, and there's quickly 1 gone as Etz takes a crack at the first pitch and grounds it down to the shortstop.
Left fielder number 26, Langston Livingston.
Langston Livingston steps back in now for the Red Wings, as Alan Murphy begins his third inning of work on the mound. As the sun shines directly in our faces here at Colburn Park. Not a cloud in the sky. Murphy will look at strike one on the outside part of the plate. Livingston, as we mentioned, having his successful year at the plate, as he's already 1 for 1, as he was able to get his 10th hit of the year, getting 500 here in the early portion of the 2018 campaign. Can't check his swing on the pitch in the dirt, and he's behind in the count now, as he has 2 strikes to him. There's the pitch from Murphy, and he gets Livingston to take a swing at the off-speeder, and there's quickly 2 gone now, as Murphy gets his 2nd K of the night. Livingston, his 3rd strikeout of the year. If it's Lane Powell who comes back to the plate, he was hit by Murphy back in the 1st. Lane Powell batting 133 so far for the Red Wings. Has 2 hits, has struck out 5 times. As he chops this one over to Warren at third. Warren will make the play over to right, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Murphy here in the top of the 3rd. Still 1-0, the Pilots lead as we head to the bottom half here from Colburn Park. Pilots turn the order off over here to start the bottom half of the 3rd. Justin Graham, who was able to come across and score. He has the only run for the Pilots as they lead 1-0 here over the Geneva Red Wings. Hayden Sieg, after struggling on the mound in the top of the 1st, which included 3 straight walks, was able to steady the ship there in the bottom of the 2nd as he got himself a 1-2-3 inning. And he gets Graham to go around for strike 1 and strike 2 as he's quickly behind. 0-2 in the count now. Hayden Sieg, as we mentioned, finished up his sophomore year at St. Joseph's from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Off speeder, trying to paint the outside corner. Couldn't do so, though, and the count goes to 1-2. Sieg, he's got some height to him. Stands at 6'5" on the mound as Graham fouls this one off and stays alive in the count. As he had 23 1/3 innings pitched this past year for St. Joseph's, as he throws one in the dirt here to Graham. And the count goes to 1-2 on Justin Graham. As Sieg is ready for the delivery. This one lined into right and right to the 2nd baseman. And the leadoff man is retired to start the bottom half of the 3rd here. So it's Dawson Bailey who stands in for his second plate appearance. He was walked his first time up. Bailey, he'll look at ball one in the dirt from Sieg. Dawson Bailey with 6 hits this year and 5 runs for the Pilots. Bailey, he had a run and a hit in last night's loss to Watertown. He shows bunt as the infield is quick to notice and moves in, but it's in the dirt, and so he looks at ball 2. Counts 2-0 to Bailey. 3-0 it was, and now it's 4-0, and Bailey gets to take his base as he's walked for the second straight plate appearance.
First baseman number 17, Grady Wright.
So Bailey gets himself another free pass down to first, and with one gone here in the bottom of the third, it's Grady Wright who comes back to the plate. Wright, he was able to advance on balls. His first time up as well. Wright swings this one into center field, and it's going to fall for a base hit. So Grady Wright gets his 5th hit of the year for the Pilots, and there's 2 on here with 1 gone in the bottom of the third. Xavier Warren, he went down on strikes his first plate appearance of the night. Warren with 7 strikeouts on the year. He has 2 hits and 1 RBI and 16 at-bats, batting at .125. Warren will look at ball 1 outside. Xavier Warren plays at Central Michigan as he tries to bring Dawson Bailey in around as he's in scoring position at second. McCray able to scoop that one out of the dirt. And the count goes to 2-0. Warren looks at another one up high, and he's ahead in the count 3-0 as Sieg, after the 1-2-3 inning in the second, having some problems with his command here again, as he'll look to throw a strike to Warren. Warren will take, and it'll catch the inside corner, and it's a hitter's count to Warren now at 3-1. Here's Sieg with the pitch. Warren grounds it up. Oh, it goes off the bare hand to Sieg, and it bounces down. Warren, he is safe, and all runners advance as an odd play there as it bounced off the bare hand of Hayden Sieg as the big 6'5" man on the mound thought he had a play on it. And I'm sure that one had to sting just a little bit as he's checking over his hand. That's his throwing hand as well. And Warren is into first safely, and the bases are loaded with 1 gone in the bottom of the third now. This one escapes McCray, but not far enough for Bailey to take a peek at coming home. As it's Alex Hernandez at the plate. He's 1 for 1, has an RBI on the night. That was his 3rd RBI of the season. As Sieg has himself in some trouble here, as he looks at ball 1 on the inside part of the plate, and the count goes to 1-1. Sieg into the windup. Here's the pitch, and it's low to Hernandez, and the count goes to 2-1 on him now. Bases are loaded here in the bottom of the third. Pilots already up 1-0, trying to tack on a couple more as they look for their first win of the season. Here's an off-speeder that falls in there to the dismay of Hernandez, and the count goes to 2-2 on him now. Here's the windup from Sieg and the pitch. Hernandez chops it into center, and it's going to fall. Oh, it takes a bounce over the center fielder, and more runners are going to come around to score. Wright is in to score. Here comes Warren. Hernandez is into second, and it's 4-0 Pilots.
Designated hitter number 23, Phil Ferranti.
A misplay by Mike Piscor is out there in center field for the Red Wings, allows a couple more runners to come around, and the bases clear up as all three runners come around to score. Hernandez is over on second now. He gets 3 RBIs. I'm not sure if it'll be exactly 3 RBIs. Yes, it will be. Okay. So Hernandez, he's got a 4 RBI night cooking here in the early going of this one. The catcher for the Pilots makes the Newark lead 4 now. Ferranti swings at the first pitch once again, and he'll ground out as Hernandez advances over to third as there's 2 gone now. Andre Marchessault comes back to the plate now. He's 0 for 1 on the evening. As the Pilots have opened this one up in the bottom half of the third, it's a 4-0 lead for them now. And we hate to mention it, but it was a 4-0 lead for the Pilots before they were defeated by the Red Wings the other night, 6-5. We'll see if the Pilots can sustain their early lead here tonight at Colburn Park. As there's 2 gone, Marchessault would love to try and bring Hernandez in from third. Off speeder, chopped down the third baseman. It's in the chest region. Good play to get it over to first, and so there's 1 stranded, but 3 come around to score here in the bottom half of the third, and the Pilots have a 4-0 lead here at Colburn Park. Pilots tack on 3 runs in the bottom half of the third as we welcome you back to Colburn Park. Barr takes a crack at this one. It's going to get over the head of Marchessault, and it's going to be extra bases for Barr here to start the top of the fourth. Marchessault stumbles with it, pushing for 3, and it's a leadoff triple by Justin Barr to get things going here in the top half of the fourth as the Red Wings are in business. Marcia Show, who we've seen over at third base for the first couple of games, out there in right tonight. And that one got caught up against the wall, and he was not able to corral it. And so Barr is able to get over to third. Big cut and a miss there from Sanford, the DH for the Red Wings. So Alan Murphy, who hasn't allowed a run to this point of the game, will have to try to keep Barr at bay over there on third, as there's none gone here in the top of the fourth. Pilots lead the Red Wings 4-0. It was a 3 RBI double for Hernandez in the last inning that allowed 3 Pilots to come around and score. This one fouled off by Sanford as he's able to stay alive, as he's in an 0-2 hole here. Sanford 0 for 1 on the night. Here's the pitch from Murphy. This one high and outside. Sanford's able to lay off it, and the count goes to 1-2 now. Anything in the air to the outfield should bring Barr in to score. As this one's popped up into center. A tough play here as Bailey's in to get it. Bailey, it's in the air. Oh, and Barr's going to hold up. That one was just too close into the infield as Bailey came up from center to make the play. And Murphy gets the out he was looking for as there's one gone, and Barr is still over at third as it's Sam Fuller who comes to the plate. A cold, refreshing Wegmans water has just been brought to me. Thank you very much, Roger. Fuller ready to go, and he chops at that one, and it goes foul. And so it's strike one to him. Fuller, he reached on an error from Cowles before being caught in a rundown during his first cycle at the plate. Fuller takes a crack at that one, and it looked like it caught his foot as he's grimacing in pain as he's trying to walk that one off. Man, we've seen a lot of injuries here in the early going. My first couple of games, we saw Timko off the hand from the last game, and we saw him leave, and Fuller just does not look like he is in the right state of mind as he is grimacing at the plate there. And we saw Timko, he got hit by the ball to the left hand, and he tried to flex it off for a good 2 minutes or so and then ended up leaving the game. Fuller looks like he will stay at the plate here. It's still an 0-2 count to Fuller after he fouled that one off. Fuller will back off of that one as it's high and inside, and the count goes to 1-2 now. The windup is Murphy. It's an off speeder, and it's in the dirt. Fuller holds off of that one, and it pushes the count to 2-2 now. Sam Fuller from Mentor, Ohio. Batting .167 so far this year. Able to hold off on another off speeder. Barr is over there at third still for the Red Wings, and it's a full count to Fuller now. Fuller 6 at-bats for him on the year, has 1 hit. He's been walked 3 times. Murphy ready with the payoff pitch. This one flied out by Fuller into left, high in the air, trying to get underneath it, but it'll escape over the wall. So Fuller got a good piece of wood on that one as he hobbles back down to the plate as he is still in a lot of pain. So Fuller, if he grounds this one out, I would suspect he's not at full speed. But showing a little bit of power on that one as it escaped over the wall. It's 339 back there in left field. Another 3-2. This one swung on up in the air by Fuller. Underneath it is Grady Wright from first base. He'll make the catch for the second out, and Barr stays put over there at third. So it's the catcher, McCray, who comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1, struck out his first time up. Geneva would hate to squander the chance to get a run here after the leadoff triple from Barr. So we start at the top of the fourth. They're in a 4-0 hole here. The Pilots got 3 in the bottom half of the third. Murphy ready to go. McCray holds out for that one. Murphy into the lineup, an off-speeder in the dirt. Hernandez able to take that one out in front of him. And it's a 2-0 count. That went inside. It was a 3-0 count. McCray takes his base. It's going to be 4 balls. Ellen Murphy not making his life easy here. As there's men on the corners now with 2 gone. Austin Jackson, the second baseman, comes in now. Jackson 1 for 1 on the evening. Murphy trying to paint the outside corner, can't do so, and so it's ball 1 to Jackson. As here's the pitch from Murphy. Jackson swings on this one into left, underneath it, and able to make the play as Parker Tadlock. And so the Red Wings strand 2 here, the top half of the fourth. Pilots still lead fourth, as they lead 4-0 as we head to the bottom half. And the Pilots come back up to bat here at Colburn Park next. Newark's own Ben Cowles will get us going here in the bottom half of the fourth. It's 3 hits apiece and 1 error apiece here from Colburn Park as the Pilots have a 4-0 lead, searching for their first win of the year. 0-4 on the year, the Pilots. 4-1 are the Red Wings. Hayden Sieg is back on the mound for Geneva as Cowles will look at ball 1 upstairs. Cowles 0 for 1 on the night. Off speeder inside. Cowles will get out of the way of that one, and Moves the count to 2 balls and no strikes yet. Cowles swings on this one and fouls it off for strike 1. Hayden Sieg has thrown 4 balls in this one, giving up 3 hits, as we mentioned. This one's in the dirt, and the count goes to 3-1 on Cowles now, as he leads off the bottom half of the 4th. Cowles checks his swing on that one and bounces it right down to first, and he is retired to begin the bottom of the 4th here. A difficult play there for Ben Cowles as he checked his swing on that one, but got some wood on it and ended up bouncing it right down to the first baseman, Powell, who was able to make the play. And so there's 1 gone now. Parker Tadlock will bunt this one, and he might have his way on, and he will. The throw didn't even come over as the speedy Parker Tadlock bunts his way on here with 1 gone.
Second baseman, number 12, Justin Graham.
Tadlock from Georgetown, Texas, plays at Angelo State along with the Pilots pitcher Trent Baker. I'm sure that's not the first time Parker Tadlock has done that in his career, as he looks like he's got some wheels. And he's down at first now. As we head to the top of the order for the Pilots, it's Justin Graham. 0 for 1. He's been walked as well. Graham, he came across to score once last night against Watertown. Tadlock is going to go to second. McCray with the throw, and it's wide. And Tadlock is in with a stolen base.
4754. Please report to the front gate. Thank you.
Parker Tadlock moves himself into scoring position after the stolen base. Tadlock with his second stolen base. Graham lines one into center, and Tadlock has to retreat as Mike Piscors is underneath it to make the play for the second out of the inning. So Graham flies out. He's 0 for 2 now. And Dawson Bailey, who has been walked in both of his plate appearances, came across to score last time on the Hernandez double. Bailey, his 6th run of the year. As Tadlock is still over there at second. Hayden Sieg with the delivery outside, and it's ball 1 to Bailey. That one thrown in there for strike 1 from Sieg, and the count goes to 1-1 now. Sieg was into the windup there, but took a peek over at Parker Tadlock, who was able to reach on a bunt and then stole his base to get over there at second. Here's the 1-1. Outside on Bailey, and the count goes to 2-1 now. Sieg taking a peek over there at Tadlock. Here's the pitch. Bailey sends it into center field. Piscors underneath it, but Tadlock is going to come home to score. And the Pilots extend their lead to 5-0. It's an RBI single for Dawson Bailey. His 3rd RBI of the year and 7th hit. Bailey, he's been strong at the plate so far this year for Newark, as he's leading the team with a .353 batting average coming into this one. Two-out RBI single for Dawson Bailey. And the Pilots up in this one 5-0 now. Grady Wright, the first baseman, back at the plate now for the Pilots. Wright, 1 for 1. Came across to score his last time up. He's also been walked tonight, so he's been on base both of his plate appearances here. Bailey's going to take off for second. In there, good throw by McCray, but Bailey is just in there safe as Wright went around on that one for strike one. Ready to go with the 1-1 to Sieg. Big cut from Grady Wright. And he gets all air on that one. And so he's behind in the count 1-2 now as there's 2 gone. Here in the bottom of the fourth, Dawson Bailey is over on second. He just extended the lead to make it 5-0. Bailey's going to take off for third. Wright goes around and misses, and so that'll do it. Pilots extend their lead. They're up 5-0 now as we head to the top of the fifth. I'm Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV.
Leading off for Geneva, center fielder number 3, Mike Piscourt.
Alan Murphy, the right-hander, has been strong on the mound for the Pilots here tonight as he has allowed 3 hits and has 3 strikeouts and has walked 1 with no earned runs. Pilots up in this one 5-0 as we kick off the top half of the fifth. Top of the order for the Red Wings, it's Mike Piscourt, as he's 0 for 2, has a strikeout on the evening. Murphy into the windup, ready with the pitch. That one is high and tight on Piscourt. Is he able to lay that one off? Mike Piscourt from Newington, Connecticut. Piscourt takes a big cut and misses at that one. And he's got 2 strikes to him. Piscourt played his first 2 years at Tampa on the JV team and then he was able to make the transition up to the varsity team this past year. As he calls time for the second inning or second time in a row, but now Murphy will step off as we try to get things reset here. 1-2 count to Piscourt. Looks at strike 3 on the inside part of the plate, and Murphy has his 4th strikeout of the evening, and the leadoff man is retired.
Shortstop number 1, Justin S.
Piscourt's his 2nd strikeout of the night. As he goes down looking at that one, it's Etz who comes to the plate now. He's 1 for 2. as we wait for the sun to creep below that tree line there and our vision to not be impaired. As Murphy is able to paint the inside corner with that one, and the count goes to 1-1 now. Alan Murphy, as we mentioned, we haven't seen him on the mound very much, as that one looked to catch the elbow of Etz, and so Murphy hits his second batter of the game, and Etz jogs down to first as he gets the free pass, as it seemed as though that one just grazed the left elbow of Etz. Murphy only pitched 1 inning with the St. John Fisher Cardinals this past season, but was stellar at the plate. And he's looked good on the mound here tonight. As the right-hander from Richburg, New York, tosses in strike 1 there to Livingston. Livingston 1 for 2 on the evening. He struck out his last plate appearance. Off speeder from Murphy is in there for strike 2, and Livingston is quickly behind in the count, 0-2 now. Third time through the Red Wings order here. That one's high and outside for ball 1 on Livingston. Livingston from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, plays his college baseball at St. Joseph's in Pennsylvania, not to be mistaken with where Hayden Sieg plays, the pitcher tonight for the Red Wings. As Murphy ready to go on the mound here with the 1-2 to Livingston. Off speeder gets Livingston, and he strikes out again. And it's the second K of the inning for Murphy, his 5th of the evening. And Livingston, who we mentioned at the top, has been good at the plate. It goes to show as Murphy seems to have his stuff tonight on the mound as he strikes him out for the second time tonight. This one in the dirt. Hernandez keeps it in front of him as Etz is over there at first as he was hit by a pitch. It's the 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Pilots when we go to the bottom of the 5th. As Murphy tosses one in there for strike 1. As it's Lane Powell at the plate now for the Red Wings. Powell, 0 for 1 on the evening. He was hit by a pitch. The other hitter, as I mentioned, to be hit by a pitch other than Etz. Throw down to first. Hernandez with a nice throw, but Ianski will say that he was safe to get back in there. Alex Hernandez looking for the heads-up pickoff play there to get Murphy out of the inning. A 2-1 count to Powell. That one grounded, but foul by Powell. And so it'll be strike 2 to him. It's a 2-2 count here with 2 gone here in the top of the 5th. Pilots lead 5-0. Murphy, a strong outing on the mound so far. Ready to go as that one's fouled back by Powell out of play. And so the count remains. Murphy with another 2-2 offering. Oh, Hernandez tried to hold that one, but it's just outside, and it moves the count full now. Action in the Pilots bullpen as Alan Murphy carries on here in the top half of the 5th. 3-2 count, runner goes. This one drove into left field by Powell. That one's going to smack off the wall from Tadlock, and a runner is going to come around to score for the Red Wings. It's an RBI double for Lane Powell, and the Red Wings are on the board as it's a 5-1 game now. Lane Powell with a full count with 2 gone. A clutch hit from him, and it's the first run of the game for the Red Wings and the first earned run that Alan Murphy has given up on the night. Murphy, a good night for him, and that'll do it for him, as he goes 4 2/3 strong And it's Zach Mann who will come in the game now for the Pilots, as we'll be right back here at Colburn Park. Top of the fifth here at Colburn Park as we welcome you back in. It's Zach Mann who takes over on the mound now as Alan Murphy is relieved. Murphy exits the game after giving up his first and only earned run of the game, as it's the Pilots who lead the Red Wings here 5-1. Zach Mann, his third appearance of the year. He's pitched 5 1/3 innings. He's given up a hit, but has allowed 3 runs across as he's walked 6 batters. And that was his issue last time he came in the game, as he couldn't seem to find his command. He tosses in strike 1 there, as it's Barr who is at the plate, after Lane Powell had the RBI double to bring the Red Wings' first runner of the game around to score, as it was Etz who came across to score after being hit by a pitch. Man from Union, Kentucky, plays his college ball at Chattanooga State. It's a 2-1 count to Barr. Barr 1 for 2 on the evening. He had a single his last time up. Grounds this one down to Cowles at short. Cowles makes the play over to first, and that'll do it. Red Wings strand 1, but get 1 back. It's the Pilots up 5-1 from here at Colburn Park, as they are due up when we come back here on Newark Pilots TV. We welcome you back here to Colburn Park as the sun begins to set on a beautiful evening for some baseball. It's the Pilots up 5-1 in this run after the Red Wings were able to get one back in the top half of the fifth, excuse me. And it's Xavier Warren who leads us off. Warren 0 for 2 as he reached on an error his last time up as he came around to score. As Hayden Sieg begins his 5th inning of work on the mound. Pitch in the dirt from Warren, and so he's ahead in the count 2-1 now. Warren gets a piece of that one and fouls it off, and so it moves the count to 2-2 here. Xavier Warren was able to come around and touch home plate his last time up for his 3rd run of the year. Ready with the 2-2. Warren, and he looks at that one for strike 3. And Xavier Warren strikes out for the 2nd time this evening. Alexander Hernandez, he's been the hot man at the plate tonight for the Pilots, is 2 for 2 and has 4 RBIs. Hernandez looks at strike 1 down low as he's been doing the catching duties for the most part this year for the Pilots. As he swings on this one, it's fouled up. Tough play for Sieg here. He mishandles it and then throws it wide, and so Hernandez is going to get another base. And he's into second. And some good fortune at the plate tonight for Alex Hernandez, as that was a tough play for Hayden Sieg from the beginning of it. You could tell.
Designated hitter number 23.
And so Hernandez will get a single out of it, but charge an error to Sieg on the play, as Hernandez was able to get down to second. So Phil Ferranti comes back to the plate doing the DH spot for the Pilots tonight, 6th in the order. He's 0 for 2 as he has swung at both of the first pitches Sieg has delivered to him. We'll see if he's a little more patient here at the plate this time. He takes a crack at that one. Oh, and there goes our camera. Oh, no. Very close to it. That needs to be fixed. Sieg ready with a pitch. That one misses outside, and so Hernandez is going to come down to third. As I'll be right back as I fix the camera. All right, folks, apologize for that. Still trying to work on fixing the camera, but got back into a sustainable position for the meantime. Phil Ferranti has been walked by Hayden Sieg. And so there's men at the corners here. There's one gone in the bottom half of the fifth. Hayden Sieg, his fifth walk of the night. And it brings Andre Marchessault back to the plate. He's 0 for 2 on the evening. Marchessault swings at the first pitch here, hits it to the right side, but it'll fall foul right into the Pilots' bullpen. And so it'll be strike one to Marchessault. Pilots up 5-1, looking for more as they have men on the corners here with one gone in the bottom of the fifth. Sieg into the windup. Ferranti is going to get a stolen base as he's into second, and so there's two men in scoring position now. Marchessault smacks one into right field, and Hernandez is going to come around to score. Ferranti will hold up at third, but Marchessault has got himself an RBI, and the Pilots extend their lead to 6-1 now.
Newark, New York. Shortstop number 9, Ben Cowell.
And I would suspect that Hayden Sieg's day is done, and that it is. As we'll get a new pitcher from the Red Wings here as the Pilots have opened this one up. It's a 6-1 lead here at Colburn Park. Steve Larson will come on for Hayden Sieg here in the bottom half of the fifth as Andre Marchessault has his first hit of the evening, and it's an RBI single for him. And there's men at the corners once more for the Pilots as they've extended their lead to 6-1. It's Ben Cowles back at the plate now as he is 0 for 2 on the evening. Cowles lines one down the third baseline. It's going to bring another run in. Marchessault will hold up, and Cowles will have to retreat to first, but Ferranti comes across to score, and the Pilots now have a 7-1 lead. Cowles did not wait long as he took a crack at the first pitch he saw from Larson, and it was lined down the left baseline, the third baseline. And the third baseman, Barr, was not able to get his glove on it, and it escaped into the outfield. And Phil Ferranti came around to score, and so it's a 6-1 lead now. 7-1 lead. The scoreboard and right, folks, is just messing with me. So men on first and second now. I get to take my sunglasses off, though, as the sun is setting behind us. There's still one gone here in the bottom of the fifth. Padlock sends one to the second baseman, and the Red Wings will be able to turn two. So the Pilots leave two stranded, but get more runs across home plate as they lead 7-1 in this one now. Red Wings will try to get back in it when they come back up to bat in the top of the sixth. Zach Mann will continue on the mound for the Pilots as we start the top of the sixth here. Newark able to extend their lead in the bottom of the fifth as they lead in this one 7-1 now. Craig Sanford, the DH, will start things off here for the Red Wings. So he looks at strike one from Mann. Sanford 0 for 2 on the evening so far. Looks at ball one outside. That one catches the outside corner, and Mann gets himself ahead of the count. 1-2 as Sanford is the leadoff man here in the top of the sixth. Off speeder, chopped up the middle to Cowles. Tough play for him, but he's able to corral it, and over to first he goes, and there's one gone to start the top of the sixth.
Right fielder, number 8, Sam Fuller.
Tell you what, Ben Cowles makes it look quite easy over there at shortstop. As he had himself an RBI single just moments ago for the Pilots in the bottom half of the fifth. As it's Sam Fuller coming back to the plate. Seems to be all right after he took that foul ball, off of his foot. Fuller is 0 for 2 on the evening. He was able to reach on his first attempt after an error. as Zach Mann tosses one inside for ball one. That one in the dirt, and so it's a pair of balls, and now Fuller has walked. So Zach Mann's sixth walk of the year.
Catcher number 25, Blaine McRae.
Allows Sam Fuller to advance to first, as there's one gone here in the top of the sixth. McRae 0 for 1 at the plate as he struck out earlier in the evening. He was walked his last time up. That one's inside as McRae laid off of that and turned his body a little bit just to make sure he wasn't hit by that one. As Mann from the stretch tosses one in the dirt, and he'll get a visit from Hernandez. As I think Grady Wright was just giving Zach Mann a little word of encouragement there, as we've seen a slew of balls here from the right-hander. And there's another one inside and low. And it's a 3-0 count now to McRae, as there's one gone here in the top of the sixth. Pilots searching for their first win of the year as they're up in this one 7-1. That one in there on the inside part of the plate for strike one to McRae, as he has himself a hitter's count at 3-1 now. That one chopped up to the shortstop Cowles, trying to turn the double play. Over to first, the stretch, and they get him. And that'll do it for the top of the sixth, as the Pilots are able to turn the double play and get themselves out of the inning. Pilots head to the top of the order as we start the bottom half of the sixth here at Colburn Park. Pilots up 7-1 in this one. Graham smacks one into right field, and it's going to drop in the gap, and it's going to be a leadoff base hit for Justin Graham.
Center fielder number 11, Dawson Bailey.
So Graham is able to get his first hit of the game as he is 1 for 3 on the evening now. Dawson Bailey, he's been walked twice and was able to get a RBI single his last time up and also had a stolen base. Bailey looks at a off-speed pitch for strike one. As it's Steve Larson back on the mound again for the Red Wings. Larson from Windsor, Colorado. That one chopped into right field by Bailey, and it's going to fall. And so Dawson Bailey has his second hit of the game, and there's 2 men on here with none gone. Dawson Bailey continues his strong hitting from behind the plate. As Dawson Bailey has 8 hits on the year now. Grady Wright comes back to the plate. He's 1 for 2. He struck out his last time out. As Wright hits the double digits in strikeouts, as he's going to bunt this one, and it's up in the air, but it'll fall. Over to first, and there's 1 gone, but it advances the runner, so Grady Wright does his job. As Justin Graham is over at third now, Dawson Bailey moves to second. And it's Xavier Warren who comes back to the plate. He struck out twice tonight. Reached on an error his second time up and came across to score. Warren takes a crack at the first pitch here, but fouls it off and out of play. It was Alan Murphy and Hayden Sieg that started on the mound for the 2 sides tonight. Alan Murphy with a strong outing for the Pilots, as the right-hander only allowed 1 earned run for the Pilots here tonight. And they're up 7-1 in this one and have more men in scoring position here in the bottom of the 6th. It's Xavier Warren at the plate. Warren looks at strike 2, and he's quickly behind in the count, 0-2 now. Steve Larson trying to get himself the second out of the inning. Here's the pitch. Outside on Warren for ball 1. Pilots have scored in the last 3 innings, as that one is high on Warren, and the count runs to 2-2 on him now. Pilots got 3 back in the bottom of the 3rd, 1 in the bottom of the 4th, and 2 more in the bottom of the 5th. And they're threatening here once again. Here's the pitch. Warren swings on this one into left. Livingston will catch it, and now here's the throw in. Graham able to beat the throw, and he's safe.
Catcher number 6, Alexander
Langston Livingston, that throw was a little inaccurate, and McCray was never able to apply the tag, and Justin Graham comes home to score. And it's a RBI sac fly for Xavier Warren. Alex Hernandez strides back in for the Pilots. He's 3 for 3 on the evening and has 4 RBIs. Hernandez gets in front of this one for strike 1. And Dawson Bailey stayed put at second during all of that. And so he's in scoring position as there's 2 gone now here in the bottom half of the 6th. Pilots extend their lead to 8-1. That one was not even close from Larson, and it hits Hernandez in the back. As an off-speeder from Larson just never turned and came back to the plate. And so Hernandez reaches base for the 4th time tonight. Phil Ferranti comes back to the plate. He came around to score his last time up after being walked. He's ahead of the off-speed pitch from Larson, and so it's strike 1 to him. Phil Ferranti from Webster, New York, plays at Monroe Community College, stands at 6'1", 190 on the right side of the plate for the Pilots. Ferranti gets in front of this one and chops it into right. Dawson Bailey rounding third. Here comes the throw. It's going to be cut off. Over to third, and Hernandez is safe at third. So Phil Ferranti picks himself up his first RBI as a Pilot, and the Newark Pilots have really opened this one up against Geneva as it's a 9-1 game now. So Dawson Bailey comes around to touch home, as that's the 8th time he's been able to do that this year for the Pilots. That leads the team. Andre Marchessault comes to the plate as he fouls that one off, and it's a 1-1 count to him. Pilots just adding insurance runs as they look to move towards their first victory of the year. Phil Ferranti with a RBI single for him with 2 outs. Off-speeder by Marchessault popped up in the air. Livingston making his way over there. Can he make the play? Oh my, yes he can! Langston Livingston, a great play from left field, but the Pilots tack on more runs as they lead in this one 9-1 now from Colburn Park. Hello, folks, and welcome back to Colburn Park. I'm Dan Cooter as we get you set here for the top of the 7th. Pilots have opened this one up. It's a 9-1 lead for them over the Geneva Red Wings, as it's the bottom of the order for the Red Wings getting us started. It's Austin Jackson at the plate. Jackson playing second base tonight for the Red Wings, as he's 1 for 2 on the evening. The right-hander Zach Mann is back on the mound for the Pilots in his 3rd inning of work after taking over for Alan Murphy. Mann starts Jackson with 2 balls and tosses in a strike, and so the count goes to 2-1 now. Pilots have now scored in 5 out of the 6 innings that we've played here at Colburn Park so far. Red Wings' lone run came back in the 5th inning for them, as Jackson has himself a 3-1 count here to lead off the top of the 7th. Jackson fouls this one off, and it pushes the count full on him now. Alan Murphy went 4 2/3, giving up 4 hits, 1 run, which was earned, and had 5 strikeouts. A strong inning in his first appearance on the mound for the Pilots this year. Hayden Sieg, he allowed 7 hits and 7 runs on 3 strikeouts in 4 1/3 innings of work. Zach Mann throws one in the dirt for ball 4, and so the leadoff man is aboard.
Number 3, Mike Piscor.
As the Red Wings head to the top of the order now. Piscors is 0 for 3 on the evening with a pair of strikeouts, playing center field tonight for the Red Wings. Mann tosses in ball 1 to Piscors. Piscors, as we mentioned, played his first 2 years at Tampa on the JV squad before getting promoted to the varsity team. As he looks at ball 2 in the dirt from Mann. Mann into the windup. That one is high, and it's ball 3. And a 3-0 count now for Piscors. As Zach Mann has already walked the leadoff man, in jeopardy of walking Piscors as well here to begin the top of the 7th. Mann ready to go with the 3-0 now. Piscor is taking all the way, and it drops in there for strike 1. Here's the 3-1 from Mann now. It's inside Piscors for ball 4. Back-to-back walks for Zach Mann, and there's 2 on now. Action in the bullpen for the Pilots, but no visit from Matt Colbert, but we will get a visit from the pitching coach here, as it's a 9-1 Newark Pilots lead here in the top half of the 7th. Big night at the plate for Alex Hernandez, as he is 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs on the evening. He was hit by pitches last time up as well, so he's reached in all 4 of his plate appearances for the Pilots here tonight, as he's doing the catching duties once again for Newark. And we're ready to play ball here once again, as it's Etz at the plate now for Geneva. Etz came across to score the only run for the Red Wings his last time up after being hit by a pitch. Etz flies this one high in the air. Underneath it is Graham, and he will make the play for the first out of the inning. A pinch hitter now here for the Red Wings is Langston Livingston will come out of the game for the Red Wings now. Brian Smith will pinch hit now for the Red Wings from Rochester, New York. as there's 2 men on here with 1 gone in the top of the 7th. Man with off speeder gets to drop it inside the strike zone, and so it's strike 1 to Smith. Big cut from Smith as he misses on that one, and he's quickly behind in the count, 0-2 now. Brennan Smith plays at Monroe Community College, and he looks at strike 3 on the inside part of the plate, and there's 2 gone now. As Zach Mann gets a big strikeout there. Lane Powell 1 for 2 on the night as he comes back to the plate. Was able to bring Etz around to score as he is the only RBI of the game for Geneva. Powell takes ball 1 on the inside part of the plate. As night begins to fall upon us here at Colburn Park. Big crack by Powell there down the left baseline, and that's going to bring a run around to score. Jackson is in. So Lane Powell strides into second as he has his second RBI of the game, and it's a 9-2 Pilots lead now. Lane Powell, a good job to get around on that one. And another pinch hitter now for the Red Wings. As it's Ryan Simmons who will come in. As he takes over for Justin Barr, who was 1 for 3 on the night. Simmons takes a crack at the first pitch there and fouls it off. Simmons, only 2 at-bats for him this year, has 1 hit. As there's men at second and third for the Red Wings here, as there's 2 gone in the top of the 7th. Geneva has gotten 1 back to make it a 9-2 ball game. That one hits Simmons. Zach Mann visibly upset with himself after that pitch as the bases are loaded now after the hit pitch.
Designated hitter number 17, Craig Sanford.
As the DH, Craig Sanford, strides back in. He's 0 for 3 on the evening. Sanford misses at that one for strike 1 to him. Zach Mann trying to limit the damage here in the top of the 7th. That one catches the outside corner, and it's an 0-2 count now to Sanford. Zach Mann trying to retire the side here. That one popped up. Cowell's underneath it, and that'll do it. So the Red Wings strand 3, but get 1 back, as it's a 9-2 game as we'll stretch it out here at Colburn Park. Ready to go with the bottom of the 7th here at Colburn Park as the Pilots lead the Red Wings 9-2. It's Ben Cowles who will lead off for Newark to get us going. Cowles 1 for 3 on the evening as he has had an RBI his last time up. Tyler Key takes over on the mound now for the Red Wings. Key from Riverdale, California. Stands at 6'3", 190. As the right-hander has a 1-0 count to Cowles here. Cowles fouls that one off. The first baseman, Powell, is underneath it to make the play, and so the leadoff man is retired to start the bottom of the 7th here.
Left fielder number 2, Parker Tadlock.
Parker Tadlock comes back to the plate now for the Pilots. Tadlock 1 for 3 on the evening, as he has a stolen base as well in this one. Keys tosses one inside, and so it's ball 2 to Tadlock now. Tadlock hitting 143 in the early going of this year with 14 at-bats and now 3 hits to his credit. As he gets hit by that one, and he'll take his base as Keys caught him in the shoulder with that one.
Number 12, Justin Graham.
Pilots head to the top of the order now as it's Justin Graham who comes back up for his 5th plate appearance of the night. He's 1 for 3 as he was walked as well. Was able to get on his last time up. Graham looks at ball 1 away. It's the second hitter of the night for the Pilots to be struck by the ball, as Parker Tadlock was able to get the free pass down to first. As Keys is ready to go with a 2-0 delivery to Justin Graham. Graham looks at strike 1, and so the count moves to 2-1 on him now. Justin Graham, counting tonight, now has 3 hits on the year. Has been able to reach 5 times on walks, so pretty good eye by Graham at the plate as he fouls one off, and the count goes to 2-2 on him now. Graham has come across to score 4 times for the Pilots, second to Dawson Bailey on the team. It's a 2-2 count. Keys with an off-speeder. It misses low and inside, and so it pushes the count full. There's 1 gone here in the bottom of the 7th. Pilots have a commanding 9-2 lead in this one. Here's the payoff pitch from Keys. Graham able to fight that one off and stays alive. Justin Graham from St. Mary's, Pennsylvania. Plays at St. John Fisher College along with a couple of other Pilots on this team. Looks at ball 4 down low, and so Keys walks Graham, and there's 2 men on now with 1 gone. Dawson Bailey comes back to the plate, and he's had another strong evening as he is 2 for 2. There was an RBI and was also walked twice. Dawson Bailey plays at Niagara University. Leads the Pilot batting average at 353 coming into this game. Swing one is running to right. And it's going to turn into a flyout. So they're gone. And it's Fuller, right fielder over there to make the catch. And so Dawson Bailey on the first percent when the right field fly out. There's two gone now. As Graham and Pat stay put on first and second. Greedy Wright comes back to the plate now. He's 1 for 3 on the night, has scored once in this game, and also has been walked. He looks at ball 1 inside for Keys. Greedy Wright from Fayetteville, Tennessee. Plays at Lincoln Memorial University. Keys ready with the 1-0. Wright will lay off, but it catches the outside corner. And it moves the count to 1-1 now. Wright will look at one inside, and so the count goes to 2-1. The Pilots go on a 4-game trip away from Colburn Park after this, as it starts in Elmira tomorrow. Geneva returns home tomorrow at McDonough Park as Wright takes a cut at this one, and the count goes to 2-2.
Your dad's cold, so your sister's going to take him home. So she wants you to pick that up. Okay. All right, thank you.
Geneva will take on the Jamestown Jammers tomorrow night, as Grady Wright will strike out, and that'll do it. For the bottom of the 7th, Pilots up 9-2 in this one as they're moving closer to their first win of the year as we turn away here at Colburn Park. Top of the 8th action from here at Colburn Park as the Pilots are in control of this one, 9-2. It's another pinch hitter for the Red Wings as Carnavelli comes on for Sam Fuller, and we remember Carnavelli from the last time these two teams met as he had the walk-off fielder's choice single that brought in the winning run for the Red Wings as they were able to defeat the Pilots 6-5 in extras. Carnavelli looks at strike one as Jacob Polishak is now on the mound for Pilots. Polishak making his second appearance of the year. Pitched 2 innings in his first, giving up 3 hits and 2 earned runs. Had 1 strikeout in that appearance. As Carnavelli fouls one off, and he is behind in the count 1-2 as he's the leadoff man here in the top of the 8th. Off speeder popped up in the air by Carnavelli. Cowles calls off Warren, and he'll make the catch to retire the leadoff man.
Catcher number 25, Lane McRae.
It's the catcher McRae who comes back to the plate. As Polishak quickly able to make work of the pinch hitter Carnavelli to start us off here in the top of the 8th. 1-0 count as McRae fouls this one off. It'll sneak into the bleachers. And it'll be strike one now to McRae. Hits are 11-5 in this one in favor of the Pilots. 2 errors for the Geneva Red Wings, 1 for the Pilots. McRae grounds one down to Warren. Warren is there to make the play over to right, and there's quickly 2 gone here in the top of the 8th. Just the beginning of the inning that Jacob Polishak was looking for.
Second baseman number 24, Austin Jackson.
Red Wings bats have been relatively cold in this one, as we mentioned, only 5 hits for them as they trail in this one 9-2. Bottom of the order, Jackson swings at this one down to Cowles. Cowles the play over to right, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Polishak, and the Pilots maintain their 9-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th. I'm Dan Cooter here on Newark Pilots TV. Another new pitcher for the Red Wings as we get set to start things in the bottom half of the 8th as the Pilots lead this one 9-2. It's Brett Sanford who takes over on the mound for the Red Wings, the brother of Craig Sanford, who has been the DH for the Red Wings here tonight. Sanford, along with his brother Craig, also plays at Hamilton. Brett, a year older than Craig. As we mentioned with Craig, both of them from Millstone Township, New Jersey. It's Xavier Warren who will lead off for Newark. Double deuces. It's strike one on the outside part of the plate. Brett Sanford misses with that one outside, and so the count goes to 1-1. Xavier Warren has himself a hit and an RBI on the night as he looks at strike two. And so he's behind in the count 1-2 now. Warren cracks one into left as he got good wood on this one. Could it fall into the gap? Yes, it will. Xavier Warren is in with a stand-up double to get us going here in the bottom half of the 8th. And speaking of hot bats, it's Alex Hernandez who comes back to the plate. 3 for 3 on the evening with 4 RBIs. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. Pilots trying to put some icing on the cake here as they are up 9-2 in this one. They have 12 hits this evening. Sanford able to get one to drop on the inside part of the plate. And so the count goes to 1-1. We got the big scoreboard working again here at Colburn Park. After some technical issues, Hernandez way in front of the off-speeder from Brett Sanford, and so he's behind in the count 1-2 now. Warren over at second after the the leadoff double, excuse me. Hernandez is able to lay off of one in the dirt, and so that pushes the count to 2-2 on him now as there's none gone here in the bottom of the 8th. Sanford just misses low, and it pushes the count full now. It's the top of the order due up for the Geneva when we head to the top of the 9th as they will need to score an abundance of runs. Hernandez fights this one off and sends it into right field. Warren is going to come around, and there won't be a throw, and so it's another RBI for Hernandez, his 5th, and now there's an error. This one goes across the third baseman, and Hernandez is into second now. Alex Hernandez, a 5 RBI night for him. And the Pilots extend their lead once again as they hit the double-digit marker. First time the Pilots have been able to do that this year. As they are up 10-2 in this one now. Alex Hernandez, 4 for 4 at the plate. As Ferranti sends one to the third baseman. And there's one gone now as Hernandez stays put on second.
Right fielder, number 7, Andre Marchessault.
Andre Marchessault comes back to the plate. He's 1 for 3. He picked up his first RBI as a Pilot his last time up. Marchessault out there in right field tonight. As mentioned earlier, we've seen him down at third base as Xavier Warren is doing the duties down at third tonight. Marchessault from Chester, Connecticut, plays at LaSalle College. He smacks one into center field, and that one will drop as well. Coming around is Hernandez. Oh, he is held up at third there by Colbert as he looked like he wanted to come home.
Number 9, Ben Cowles.
But he will hold off, and Marchessault gets his second hit of the night. And there's men at the corner for the Pilots as there's one gone in the bottom of the 8th. Newark, it's been steady scoring for them all night as they have scored now in 6 out of the 8 innings we've played here at Colburn Park. As the bats have been alive, as it's 15 hits for Newark, only 5 for Geneva. Cowles swings at this one, and it might come back on our roof. No, it'll miss us. Last time we were here, it smacked us right on the roof. So Cowles swinging at the first pitch, fouls it off. So he's behind in the count, 0-1 now. Men at the corners for the Pilots here. Brett Sanford, a grin from him as he backs off the mound. Ready to go now. Tosses an off-speeder. And Cowles is behind in the count, 0-2 now. Cowles, 1 for 4 on the night, has his first RBI as a Pilot. As he gets set to play his collegiate baseball at Maryland. He hits one into the gap and right, and that one is going to fall. Hernandez will jog it down to home base. Marchessault rounding third. Cowles is pushing for 3, and he's in. And the Newark crowd loves it. It's an RBI triple for Ben Cowles as he clears the bases. And it's a 12-2 Newark game. Ben Cowles showing off the wheels as I didn't think he was going to push for 3 on that one, but he did, and he was in there easily. He just wanted to get the white jersey a little dirty before the night ended. A chat here with Brett Sanford as it looks as though this one is out of reach for the Red Wings as it's a 12-2 ball game now. Cowles gets the 16th hit of the night for the Pilots. By far their most of the year to this point. Pilots return to Colburn Park next Friday when they take on the Glens Falls Dragons. It's a 4-game trip away from Colburn Park, as I mentioned earlier. It starts tomorrow when they travel to Elmira to take on the Pioneers. Tadlock swings at this one on the first pitch and grounds it down the third baseline, but foul. Hopefully the Pilots can get one in with the Pioneers here, as they've already had 2 rained out against them, 1 at Dunn Field and 1 here at Colburn Park. Sanford tosses one in there for strike 2, and Tadlock is behind in the count, 0-2. There's 1 gone here in the bottom of the 8th. Pilots have tacked on 3 more runs as they lead in this one, 12-2. Tadlock pops one up high in the air. Sanford pointed it out. And it's Austin Jackson, the second baseman, who will get underneath it. And there's 2 gone now.
Second baseman, number 12.
As Tadlock is 1 for 4 on the evening now. Top of the order for the Pilots as Justin Graham comes back up. He's 1 for 3, has been able to reach on 2 walks as well. Sanford able to toss in strike 1 as Ben Cowles is looming over at third after the RBI triple that cleared the bases here. Graham finds himself quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Brett Sanford seems to be a little confused with his signs from McCray, and so they'll chat it out. As we'll see who returns on the mound for the Pilots, as they'll try to close this one out and get the Pilots their first win of the year and improve them to 1-4. Red Wings would drop to 4-2 with the loss. Graham smacks one down the first baseline. There to make the play is Powell. He'll call off the catcher Sanford, And that'll do it for the 8th inning here at Colburn Park. But the Pilots get 3 more, and they lead this one 12-2 as we head to the final inning of play here on Newark Pilots TV. Top of the order for the Red Wings as we get set for the top of the 9th. It's a non-save situation for Jacob Polishak. It's a 12-2 ball game. Bats have been alive for the Pilots tonight as they have 16 hits in this one, I believe. It says 15 on the board, but I think Ben Cowell's got another one there. Is it 15? Okay, I apologize. Scoreboard trumps all. So there's 15 hits for the Pilots. That's what I get for trying to be smart. It's Mike Piscors at the plate for the 4th time. The center fielder tonight for the Pilots, or for the Red Wings, excuse me. He's 0 for 3 on the evening. Has a pair of strikeouts. That one by Polishak well in the dirt as it did make it to the plate. And the count goes to 1-2 now. Another one in the dirt from Polishak is a little shake of the head from him. As it moves the count to 2-2 now. Polishak ready with the 2-2. That one grounded to the second baseman, Graham. He'll make the play over to right at first, and there's one gone to start the top of the 9th. The shortstop, Etz, will come back to the plate. He's 1 for 3 on the evening. Scored one of the Red Wings 2 runs in this one tonight. Swings at the first pitch there and fouls it off, and so it's strike 1 to him. Pilots inching towards their first win of the year as we're early on here in the year, so Newark trying to not get ahead of themselves is just a little bit of a jam they have to get themselves out of. Grady Wright is after it in foul play. He's able to make it. And there's 2 gone here in the top of the 9th as the Pilots are 1 out away from closing out this game now. It's Brennan Smith who strides back in for the Red Wings, making his second at-bat after taking over for Langston Livingston. Smith struck out his first time at the plate. Livingston, he was 1 for 3 on the evening with a pair of strikeouts of his own. God, please do not hit the camera here in the top of the 9th. That's the last thing I need. Smith fouls that one right into the netting in front of our booth here. That one grounded to Cowles. He'll make the catch, and that's a great way to put an exclamation point on the Newark Pilots' first win of the year. Pilots return home next Friday when they take on the Glens Falls Dragons. It's Alan Murphy who gets the win for the Pilots here tonight, and it's a 12-2 victory over the Geneva Red Wings. As the Pilots move to 1-4 on the year, the Red Wings fall to 4-2. As we say so long from Colburn Park, I'm Dan Cooter. Thanks for listening here on Newark Pilots TV.